first thing we should discuss in order to fully understand how to train every day are the principles of periodization. According to the Essentials of Strength Training and Conditioning by the NSCA, the main variables when making a program is as follows: needs analysis, exercise selection, training frequency, exercise order, training load and repetitions, volume, and finally rest periods. Since we are dealing with training every day, the most influential variable that we will be discussing is training frequency, or the amount of sessions the person does per given time. In this case, it would be per week. Volume goes hand in hand with training frequency. This is where the art of periodization comes into play. Coaches need to find the right balance between frequency and volume where the athlete won't receive too much stimulus and overtrain, or receive not enough stimulus and undertrain. When we manipulate frequency with total amount of volume per week being constant, the volume per session can be split differently. You can train 3 days a week and have lots of volume per session, or train 7 days a week and have little volume in each session. This is why training every day can be an advantage. Take 2 people for instance, but one trains every day, so 7 sessions a week, while the other trains 4 days a week, so 4 sessions a week. Let's say that both people need to do 28 sets of 5 reps of squats for the week. If we split that for both people, the first person that is training every day will need to do 4 sets of 5 per day, while the other person will need to do 7 sets of 5. Although both are doing the same amount of volume per week, the second person will need to expend more energy within the squat session to get through 7 sets, rather than getting through 4 sets per session. And even if you had the energy to complete all 7 sets, do you have the time to do so? In a typical weightlifting session, one will consist of a variation of the lift, like a hang snatch, some strength movement like the squat, and then some accessory work. If you had to do 7 sets of 5 reps, even with a 3-minute rest period in between, it will take you at least 21 minutes to complete the squats, which does not include the time it takes to warm up. And I'm sure many people out there will take more than 3 minutes to rest with the technology these days. Another thing to consider when training every day is the accumulation of warm-up sets. Zach Talender perfectly explains the added benefit to these non-working sets and how it can further better your technique.
Well, what if you had 2 sessions where you worked up to 90%, you did all of those warm-up reps, you did your sets at 90%. Then you come in again and you do all of those warm-up sets again and you do 90%. Just because they're not working sets doesn't mean they're not important. Those non-working sets are great chances to work on technique. And when you train 2 times a day, you get double the amount of chances to work on your technique.
Although within this video he explains his philosophy behind training twice per day, the idea of increased frequency is still the same. Increasing the amount of training sessions per week and you will increase the amount of warm-up sets done, thus more time you could focus on your technique. There is still one question that has yet to be answered, and that is in regard to rest days. If you train every day, then there are no rest days, and that is correct. However, it is important to emphasize the purpose of training, which is to make progress towards a certain goal. This is different than just working out or exercising. Training sessions does not necessarily mean strenuous work with blood, sweat, and tears, so long as it's working towards the final goal. On my final training sessions of the week, I only go up to about 60% of both the snatch and the clean and jerk, and practice singles for about 30 minutes each, honing down my technique. Although I am not straining myself to make these singles, I am still training to better myself towards my maximal 6 lifts on the platform, which is my end goal. So what can you, the viewer, do? If you're a novice lifter, then please note that this may not be the best for you. In fact, when looking at the Starting Strength's novice linear progression, novice lifters are only allowed to train 3 times a week at most. This is because the volume required for novices to generate some sort of adaptation is quite low. If the lifter starts at such a high volume or frequency, the lifter will have limited options to add more stimulus to it without severely sacrificing time or possibly leading to burnout. If you seriously do not have the time to train every day, however, then don't sweat it. Keep in mind that frequency is only one variable within the whole equation of periodization, which is only one factor of the many factors in life that can contribute to progress. But if you are that type of person that spends 2 hours on Netflix and chill on the weekends, consider changing that time to gym time, which can help offset the time on the weekdays since you will be doing less per session.